guys, we are in lesson 1. It's our first language lesson, and so I'm just going to explain a couple of these work for you. It doesn't have a page number, but it's page 2 because this was page 3, right? So on page 2, the only two terms that you need to know is the first one is a sentence and the second one is a fragment. A sentence is basically saying it has a complete thought. It has a subject, it has a verb. And if it doesn't have a subject or it doesn't have a verb, then it becomes a fragment. For example, look at this. After he buckled his seatbelt, what happened? There was nothing there, okay? So that's why this is a fragment. But look what you can do. After he buckled the seatbelt, comma, he started the car, period. So you see how that becomes a sentence? So that's what you need to know, the difference between a fragment and a sentence. Let's do a couple of these together. You're just going to put S if it's a sentence, and you're going to put F if it's a fragment. Number 1 says, in the shop on the corner of 5th and Main. Now remember, if it doesn't have a subject or doesn't have a verb, it's automatically fragment. But what does it say? In the shop of corner 5th and Main. What happened? There's nothing. So that's why this becomes a fragment. So you put F there. Number 2, when knights wore armor, okay, what happened when knights wore armor? I mean, you got to see what it becomes. It becomes a fragment. Another fragment. I am studying. Okay, I got the subject, I got the verb in studying. So now remember, after you do that, you probably need a period because it has a subject and verb. So that's why it is a sentence. Okay, let's do one more. Doing a very fine job. Okay, I mean, I see the verb, but I don't see a subject or anything. So that's why this becomes a fragment. And that's what you need to do for all of this. And it's to go back, you put if it's a sentence, just put a period at the end. For example, this is a sentence, so you're just putting a period at the end. Okay, and so that's on page 2. You're just going to do all of this, all of that. On page 3 is basically, let's see the blue section. It says, one way to correct a fragment is to rejoin the sentence from which it has separated. So here's a fragment. You girls stay here. All right, so until we return. So you don't do 2 separate sentences like that. You need to put it all in one. You girls stay here until we return. You see how that becomes a lowercase u, and then it has a period at the end? That's what you need to do for this. So look at the examples. Now there's going to be a lot of correctal marks that you need to do. Now if you need to take something out, you're just going to circle it and go whoop, loopy loop. And then for lowercase, cross it out and put LC. If you want to add anything like a comma, then you put a little caret and you put a comma next to it. Take out that and you go whoop, loopy loop. Okay, so that's what you need to know, and then you make changing it into a sentence. So that sentence, fragment, fragment. So these are what you're going to be doing. Okay, you're going to be using all of these examples here, and you can write it correctly. The package should arrive in the mail in 2 days. See, 2 separate sentences. So you don't want to do that. You probably want to take this out, loopy loop, then you want to change this to a lowercase and then put LC, and then that's where you make it correct, because if it's like this, you have to put F because it's not correct. You're actually changed what it's done. All right, so that's what you need to do. If it's sentence, just put S for sentence. But if it needs to be combined, then you need to just put an F here for fragment, and then do the loopy loop, do the caret if you need a comma, and that's what you need to do. So I hope that this makes sense to you. The first one is easy, just identifying a sentence and a fragment, and the second page is putting the fragment into one sentence to make it into a sentence. So that what we need to do, but on Zoom, we will go over these 2, and if you have any questions, I can answer them for you. All right, enjoy, bye.